Um, all praise and glory be unto Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shah, Bashim Kwadash, the amongst the other apostles. This salutations to you, Akim, this labor in the truth of sincerity. Shalom to you, few sisters that believe. Now, this is an article from blacklistednews.com, and I read through it and actually seen a news segment about this subject matter. So I'm going to jump right into it. Lord willing is edifying. You know, let me start by saying, we living in some evil times, right? The evil around us is great. The scriptures say, be circumspect because the days are evil. And when you look around at what's going on this earth, you have it where the wicked is ruling and he's pushing his agenda, which ultimately is to have everyone chipped with the RFID microchip, which is the mark prophesied in the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter. And, its sole purpose is to have everyone marked up. So, this Max is the next step. I'm sorry, the first step, to getting you all chipped up. So the Max is being pushed heavy, and is to the point where you got uh, U.S. states and even other countries. They're not allowing certain access to public buildings. All right, if you haven't got maxed already. Excuse me. And the same thing is going to happen over here in the states because a lot of people over here in the states they're not really woke to what's going on. And simply put, a lot of people over here in so-called America are really just, man, how you say it, man? Just really, they're just not paying attention to what's going on. Or I'll be friendly on this time around. Right, they're not paying attention to what's going on, but us believers in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh we know what's going on, all right? Because Yahweh Bashim Yahweh have gave us the mind and spirit to know what's going on through the scriptures, all right? And understanding the words of prophecy. Now, this is an article that says two things mainstream media didn't tell you about the FDA's approval of the PFIZER Max. It says, first, the FDA acknowledges that while the Pfizer has insufficient stocks of the newly licensed Comirnaty Max available, there is a significant amount of the Pfizer BioNTech Disease Max produced under emergency use authorization still available for use. So what's been going on with this Pfizer is that the first one they created was pretty much a failure, and so they had to try and push a PR firm to get people to actually try and to get the new so-called Max, and pretty much they're pushing really heavy. All right, they're pushing really heavy because they know that people don't want to get the Max. All right, so they're just trying to shove it up in you as quickly as they can, and a lot of people are actually lining up, whether it be health departments, even your local grocery stores, and they're lined up to get the Max. And they lined up, like sheep, man. You go, because when a sheep is getting ready to be killed, it doesn't know, and it doesn't fight, right? It doesn't fight against you, all right? And that's how people are. They just willingly line up to get that max, like sheep can lined up for the slaughter, all right? Especially you Israelites out there, man. You so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans. You're the Lord's people, all right? And you're gonna trust Esau. Real quick, Jeremiah. Oh, not. I'm sorry, not Jeremiah. I had that queued up already. Because first and foremost, we know who our number one enemy is. All right, and what the scripture say about that? Ecclesiastes 12:10 says, "Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness." And the so-called white man, is your enemy, man. From their elites on down, which are the central bankers. All right, the central bankers are responsible for putting you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans in slavery. They're the head of it. They're the ones that was the sponsors. All right, to have the slave ships built so they can carry you across the waters into these different lands indiscriminately. Especially those of you of the Southern Kingdom. All right, the tents of Judah, the so-called Negro tribes, if you will. All right. It says, "Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether wiped away." Yeah, so no matter what, this man's wickedness is going to always show. All right, especially during this time. All right, Esau's horns are showing, man. He's the devil that the scriptures describe him to be. Continuing on, it says the FDA decrees that the Pfizer BioNTech Max under the EUA, again that's the Emergency Use Authorization, should remain unlicensed but can be used interchangeably with the newly licensed Max, pretty much. All right, it says second, the FDA pointed out that the licensed Pfizer Max and existing the EUA Pfizer Max are legally distinct, but proclaims that their differences do not impact safety or effectiveness. Just as with Ford's exploding Pinto or Monsanto's herbicide Roundup, people injured by the Max could potentially sue for damages. So yeah, just like those commercials you see when they were, the FDA always approved this crazy old drug for all slacking. But the FDA, they approve a lot of drugs just on the strength of just money. They throw money at these corporations. They throw money at them. The FDA passes them because they're in the same circle. All right, this whole American system, the whole system of Esau is a fraud, man. All right, it's all done by wickedness, and it's done, in a way to, protect the riches of the elites of Esau. All right, kind of like the same with war. War benefits the MIC, the military-industrial complex. So you're gonna have these big weapon makers making a lot of money by what? Selling them to the government, and the government gonna keep buying them, and then once they buy them, they gotta get used, So, continuing on, it says, and because adults injured by the Max will be able to show that the manufacturer knew of the problems with the product, jury awards could be astronomical. Yeah, every time a new drug come out, for to treat, mental illness or something, chronic pain or a terminal disease or illness, and you end up taking it and get more messed up than your first estate, and then down the line you find out they knew that this drug was harmful to the human body, and they're awarded so much money to be paid out to the victims if they can prove it. And it's always a game when it comes down to proving that these companies are responsible. All right, even though everyone knows the truth that they are responsible, right? And that's what they do. So anything Esau puts out to the people, it's always going to be bad. All right, it's always going to be bad. Let's see. I'm going to go back to Jeremiah 13. I believe that was 23. Yeah, Jeremiah 13 and 23, it says, Can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil. Yeah, you Edomites, man, you're accustomed to doing evil. All right, that's why the scriptures call you the wicked, because what you're doing is an evil work. All right, that's plain. That you can see right through you, man. Everything you do is based on doing a evil work. All right, and you know it, Esau. That's why you hate us so much. All right. The book of I'll read this one first. This is a good one. I don't want to overlook it. Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. And excuse me. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, he's fully set to do evil because the Heavenly Father haven't brought down that punishment upon him. Because first and foremost, the Heavenly Father used Esau, because he's a wicked, right, to bring forth evil to the people. That's why King David said that Esau, or he said the wicked, which is thy sword. He was talking about the Heavenly Father. All right. And that's why Esau able to do the things he do, man. All right. But still, he's the wicked, so he's going to do evil, man. His whole purpose in life is to be evil because he was made to be the wicked. All right. All right. It was, let's see, it's going to come up. It was another one. Matter of fact, I'll get this one. I'll get this one instead because it's a good one as well. The book of Sirach, or Ecclesiastes 14. It says Ecclesiastes, or Sirach 14:5. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? Right, because Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is what you call him. But his true nationality, his true identity is he's Esau, Edom. And he does evil to his own self, and his own people. So how much more to the rest of the nations? All right, knowing this is their role within the Most High script. All right, they're the they're the problem that have to be solved. All right, they're the cancer that have to be fixed. All right, or removed, I should say. I'm sorry. That's the so-called white man. All right. It says, he that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. There is none worse than he that envieth himself, and this is a recompense of his wickedness. And if he do it good, he do it unwillingly, and at the last, he will declare his wickedness. And pretty much, you know, you see how much Esau always go about um, trying to act as though he's the good one throughout the earth. The whole earth is awakened to the fact of that Esau is the wicked and he's bringing great evil to this earth. All right. I mean, look at the situation in Afghanistan, to say the least. All right. I mean, that's a clear indication that that he's the wicked, because the whole world is watching what he in his system, all right, is full of his allies, what they're doing. All right, they're causing everyone across the globe to try to be forced to get this max, even to have a passport, man, and to travel to different places, And he's gonna always picture like it's something good for you, and it's not. You notice every time, like I said, every time a so-called drug is supposed to help you, how when it comes out, um, it even tell you the side effects and symptoms. And people are stupid, so they're gonna take it, right. And then on top of it, still he knows it's gonna do harm to him, but yet he still puts it out to the people and allows them to get it. And he pitches it very softly, like it's gonna help more than it's gonna hurt, which is deceit in itself, man. Excuse me. The book of Psalms, chapter 55 and 21, it says, "The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war is in his heart." Excuse me. "His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords." And that's one thing about Esau, man. He want to do away with us, especially, as Israelites. We're the main nation that he wants to get rid of. All right, and he won't stop until he uh, um do so. That's why the Heavenly Father had to come back and redeem us, and basically preserve us from this violent man. All right, because that's truly what he is, man. All you people lined up to get that max, you're gonna be the first ones lined up to get that mark. Back to the article, it says given. I'm sorry. It says and because adults injured by the max will be able to show that the manufacturer knew of the problems with the product, jury awards could be astronomical. PFIzer is therefore unlikely to allow any Americans to take a max until it can somehow arrange immunity for this product. So basically, they're looking for a way to not be punished for people being affected by this drug. All right. See, it's all a game, man. All right. That's why scriptures say, well, when I read in the book of Ecclesiastes or Sirach, never trust thy enemies, man. This guy's clearly your enemy, man. And clearly you gotta let him be, as far as his actions, let him be as a looking glass that you wipe clear, man. You gotta be able to see this man, because this man's a very wicked man. It says, given this background, the FDA's acknowledgement in its approval letter that there are insufficient stocks of the licensed max, but an abundant supply of the EUA Pfizer BioNTech max, exposes the approval as a cynical scheme to encourage businesses and schools to impose illegal max mandates. See? And PF Iser then paid sums of money to the FDA to approve this, because the money that they'll pay out to the victims, that's nothing, man. These corporations can pay that with no problem. All right, they could pay that with no problem. Believe me. Okay. They could pay it, and they could reverse that, no problem. But they're not, because they're the wicked. Let me see here. The Book of Psalms. Let's see. The Book of Psalms, chapter 10. I'm starting at verse 1. It says, "Why standest thou afar off, O Yahweh? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble?" Well, first of all, the Heavenly Father is not hiding himself in our time of trouble. To those of us that are faithful and do His will. But to you wicked Israelites that's out in the world and doing your own thing and not concerned with doing the will of the Heavenly Father, you're the ones that's not going. You're the ones that's not going to have that other mark, which is the Y, which means to be exempt from judgment. You're not going to have that the Y in that day. But those of us that remain faithful, we will. Verse 2, "The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor." Yeah, that's straight up persecution, because there's some people that can't go back to their jobs or even go and get a job without having the max. Excuse me. And that's why they said that they're writing up some kind of legal proceedings to find immunity for these corporations that's producing these max drugs, man. See, it's all a game. This whole Americanized situation of living and this whole American dream, man, it's all BS, man. This place is finished. This place is ready to go, man. And that's why Esau moving in on the people right now, because he knows that he don't have that alone. The scriptures tell you in the book of Revelation 12 and 12, I believe it says that the devil had come down unto you having great wrath, because he know that he had but a short time, roughly paraphrasing. And that's the elites of Esau, man. All right. I mean, all you Edomites are devils, but your top devils, all right, are you elites of Esau, Edom, the central banking families. All right, you're the chief house. You're Amalek, man. All right, you're Amalek, the chief of Amalek, man. That's you. This is 2 Corinthians 2 and verse 11. It says, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." Yeah, those of us that are true believers and true worshipers of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, we're not, we're not ignorant of what you're doing, Esau, because you're the physical counterparts of Satan. All right, we're not ignorant to what's going on. Everything you're doing behind closed doors, behind those closed doors, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is bringing everything you're doing back behind those closed doors to light. And that's why you hate us, but ultimately you hate the Most High, because the Heavenly Father is the one that established, chose Jacob. And you want that birthright back. And that's why you want to get us off the street, because the Most High is using Jacob to expose Esau, man. And that's us, man. We're Jacob. So everything you do, all right, is brought to the light, man. All right, the scriptures say every work should be brought into judgment, man. All right. So, like I said, this is this is a trial run to see how many people will submit to the elites of Esau. All right. Trial run, pretty much. Because that's what it is, really. All right, let me see here. All right, here we go. Exodus, the 17th chapter. Bringing this out because the first nation to war with us coming out of Egypt, because they didn't want us to be a nation, was Amalek, and Amalek goes back to Edom. He's the grandson of Esau, Edom. Right, they're the same people. They're just Amalek is the chief. That's why the scriptures say Amalek was the first of the nations. All right, Exodus 17:8, it says, "Then came Amalek, and fought with Israel in Rephidim." Because why what happened? Once the Heavenly Father destroyed the Egyptians, and we was traveling, all right, through the wilderness and everything, the first nation that came up was Amalek. And so Amalek has a stake to try and cut us off of the nation first. You go to the book of Psalms, the 83rd chapter. Excuse me. And you read down. Matter of fact, I'm going to read Psalms 83rd chapter. I'm going to start at the first. Let's go to this point. Verse 3 says, "They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites and Moab." It says of Moab and the Hagarenes. So the first nation it names is Edom, right? When you go into scriptures, what's that? Genesis 36. You go into scriptures, I believe it's like the 10th verse. All right, let's see here. 12th verse, Salakia. I'll start at 11. It show you Amalek's lineage, right? Or what lineage did Amalek come from, I'm sorry. Genesis 36:11 says, "And the sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zepho, and Gatam, and Kenaz. And Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bare to Eliphaz Amalek." Yeah, like I said, Amalek is the top chief, all right, of Esau, Edom. So, that's who you know who they is. Today you would identify them as the central banking families, all right, and they're still in their powerful position, all right. They're the ones that profited the most, as far as the fatness of the earth, which means riches. They're the ones that profited most of our enslavement. They're the ones that are behind the scenes pulling the strings of the lower level guys, which are the puppets, right? They're the ones that got this new world order. They're the ones that had America set up the way it's set up today. And they're the ones that want to cut us off as a people, ultimately. That's why this max is being pushed so heavy, because it goes along with their new world order plans. All right, this max is just, like I said, the beginning. Because when the actual mark come out, you're gonna see how much of a wicked man this man really is. Okay. Anyways, with that, Lord willing, you were edified in the spirit, and I'm gonna leave you with all praises and glory to y'all. Basham Yahweh Shah, Basham Kakodash. Until next time, I say Shalom.